So we always think start with the CEO or identify a senior leadership sponsor. So when we build a culture, we don't think you can build it from the bottom up. Okay, so that's a bit of a different approach to change management here. We think it's got to be a leadership agenda, and we like to start with executives because they set the tone. In other words, managers and the rest of the organization will follow the leader's example. And I think you have many sort of insights into how you've seen that work. We want to give executives and leaders the right approach so that they can role model it. So some strategies, we're starting with executives and CEOs, is we think strengths is a business strategy. You notice that we started with the impact of a strength-based culture and approach. Executive leadership should share their strengths with others and communicate how they use them. We think that executives need to role model this and actually lead on strengths. And strength-based culture hinges on leadership alignment. You can't expect your managers and employees to take on a positive psychology approach if your leaders think that the best way to lead is by running a sweatshop. Now, this is a tremendously obvious point to make on a webinar, but we see it so often that happens in the organization. Leaders go, oh, we love the strength-based stuff because managers can get more productivity out of employees, but by the way, we're going to continue as business as usual. And that sort of contradictory approach creates more toxicity than is really worthwhile. So we really want to get your leaders to embrace. So some tactical approaches that you want to think about: articulate how the Strengths Initiative is connected to the organization's identity, its purpose, brand, and culture. And the great power question at this stage to ask executive teams is, why should good people work for you? And you'd be flabbergasted. A lot of executive teams don't know how to answer that question, and they come back with the type of response that you really just have to hold your head. They go, yeah, because we pay people. Yes, you do, but so do others. And I think that just getting that conversation going is a valuable way to challenge positively executive teams. Create partnerships with other leaders using strengths. So get leaders to talk to each other. And it's amazing how quickly your silos will disappear. And then infuse strengths into their leadership brand. In other words, good leadership in an organization should be positive-based, positive approach, strength-based. When leaders truly build a culture of strengths, it's constantly top of mind for them. It's the way that they do business. They think about people they are talking to at any given time and consider how their talent DNA is at work. Once we switch the filter or lens onto this approach for leaders, is they're constantly thinking about the power question here. How do I create the environment to get the best out of the people that I lead? And it's the how-to around that where we think strengths really contribute to a performance agenda. And it's that lens that makes sense. Too often leaders and managers in particular think a little bit about, what do I have to do, as opposed to how do I help others be the best version of them? And here is the litmus test. When I speak to managers and I ask them, what is it like to manage? They tell me it's like pushing a rock up a hill. This approach is about, let's level the hill, forget about the rock, and really our job is to get the best out of others. Then management becomes a lot easier.